New at 9. In August of last year, the City of Longview approved the contract for a biomining facility off East Loop 281. It came amidst pushback from residents in the area about safety concerns possibly coming from the facility.
Nearly 8 months later, with construction officially underway, I was able to speak with the CEO of the New Zealand-based company on why a move to the U.S. is beneficial both now and in the future. A formerly unoccupied storage facility in Longview will soon be home to a New Zealand-based biomining facility that's turning your old phones, laptops, and more into a reusable resource for the country.
They typically contain a lot of different metals, and the most valuable ones are quite scarce.
For example, your old cell phone, that could contain 20% copper and a minute fraction of gold, which are two incredibly valuable materials in the U.S.
So our process essentially enables us to go in there, selectively grab gold out of that needle in the haystack, and refine that gold into pure gold. And once you've got your pay dirt, your gold, you can then use chemistry, simple refining chemistries to recover the other more concentrated metals.
But the idea of biomining and the use of chemicals near residential areas, concerns were understandably raised by Longview residents.
50 to 60 homes within just a short distance of here, just a few blocks.
Will Barker, CEO of Mint Innovation, says after successfully running a facility in Sydney, Australia for 3 years, he was ready to make the move to the States, doubling down on safety protocols beforehand.
But not only is it kind of contained within those tanks, we also have secondary containment and a whole bunch of safety systems around it. So
set up to protect the chemicals used to strip these materials out. And Barker says all of the chemicals they use, well, they can be found at your local hardware store.
They're very common. They will be used at scale across Longview and across just about every town across Texas. But we use them in very dilute forms.
And when it comes to waste produced by the plant,
the process does not and cannot produce any nasties. It's all entirely self-contained.
Why start their American operation in the Lone Star State?
As a state, Texas has the largest concentration of R2 certified recyclers. So that's electronic waste recyclers who do it kind of to a particular recycling code.
Which Mint Innovations believes is a sustainable model as technology advances.
AI computing requires vast quantities of chips that rely on metals like gold and copper. So the future is going to become increasingly heavily reliant on these metals.
To put it into perspective, in 1991, the United States did not import any copper. However, in 2024, the U.S. imported 45% of its copper. This led to the Trump administration signing an executive order in February looking into copper imports' threat to our economic stability. That doesn't include precious metals like cobalt, mainly imported from Africa, and lithium, which is a material many of us use daily, which is one of China's greatest exports.
If there's an ability to have a secure supply chain in-house, in-country, that's obviously, it's a no-brainer for anybody. I think if you can keep it in country, then you should.
Another goal, working to eliminate e-waste, which is any phone or plug that ends up in our landfills. And it's a growing problem across the nation, but specifically in Texas, where only 6% of e-waste is properly recycled.
Which means the vast majority of it ends up in landfill. Those metals often seep into the water and create problems in your local aquifers, and those hazardous materials are there forever.
Mint Innovation says nothing that comes through their facility will go back to the dump.
We produce a gypsum stream that can also be sold as a soil conditioner, as a fertilizer, and we produce a kind of a plastic residue that can be used in construction materials. So everything we produce is kind of upcycled and is no longer a hazardous material.
Centralized in one of the most tech-advanced states in the nation, Barker says he hopes the over 30 jobs created will be filled by East Texans.
Longview and the surrounding area have a couple of technical colleges, so my expectation is we'll be drawing heavily on graduates from those technical colleges to staff the plant.
Well, Barker also gave Fox 51 News an update on the build, which is in
2 phases, so phase 1's under construction now. That's the interior that's being built all by local contractors. That should be completed by September of this year. Phase 2, that's testing, hiring, etc. Barker says will be fully complete and operational by September of 2026.